Welcome everyone to Sysco Canada's Virtual Kitchen. I don't know if I like how that cuts it off, but welcome to our show. We have a great virtual show today, really talking with our customers about the stories that they have to tell us and to tell everyone what it's been like through this last year in our industry. And we're just so happy and so honored to have them on the show today. And really our theme around our FOODIESUNITE campaign has been all about our customers in the industry and listening to them and uniting together to get through this. And we're excited today. I'm really excited because we got some Alberta folks on the show today, and we have a lot to talk with them, and it's going to be great. For everyone that's going to be joining this or watching this, share some comments. We have live feed that's going to be coming across where you can comment throughout the show. So we want to hear from you, ask questions. Share how much we're missing our industry if you like, but we're very honored and very grateful to be able to talk with these folks today. So the first guest today is just south of me a little bit, but we're very excited to have Peter on. So I'm going to bring Peter into the room here. There we go. Hello, Peter.
Hi there.
Welcome to the show.
Thank you. Thanks for having me on board. Appreciate it.
Excellent. So Peter, you know what? This is all about you, and it's all about our customers and really listening to the stories you guys have to tell us. So I'm going to just hand it over to you to tell us what this last year's been like for Grumman's in Calgary and what you guys have been doing to keep going.
Well, first of all, you start off with this is about you, and this is really about us. This is about me, this is about my staff, this is about my customers, and this is about my peers and my fellow restaurateurs out there. We've, made it this far, and we're going to see ourselves to the end because we're in this business for the long, but we've also been very lucky along the way. It's almost a year. It'll be a year, obviously, in March 15th. I remember that day that this whole thing went down. And at Grumman's, we went from 20 staff down to 3 the next day. And we have slowly, not necessarily reinvented ourselves, but just kind of maneuvered ourselves through this. We're a full-service catering company focused on corporate catering downtown Calgary. And that got blown up. That went pretty quickly. However, at the beginning, through the summer, we were very lucky in the sense that one of our regular corporate catering customers wanted to give back to the community. They wanted to see Grumman's survive. And through the months of May, June, July, August, they gave us a budget, weekly budget to feed all the frontline workers out there, the hospital workers, and a lot of the people in need. People at the shelters, the women's shelters, etc. So that was pretty good for us. And then we slowly built up our takeout business. We got the Skip the Dishes going. We were able to get the DoorDash going, and we really built that takeout business. And at the same time, we jumped on the government programs that were available to us, whether it was the wage subsidy. We're now taking advantage of the rent subsidy. The Alberta government has kicked in a little bit. And we became more efficient also. When the whole thing happened, those first month or so, or actually that first 2-3 weeks, once the shock of what was going on, we got over the shock. We really took a look at our business and looked at where we were really inefficient and the areas where we were efficient and the areas where we needed to focus on. And that's what we've been doing for the last 10 months. The tables opened up for that little period of time, and when you mix the DoorDash, the Skip, the takeout, and the tables with all the subsidies, you can make it. There is hope. And hope is a word that we've been tossing around quite a bit over the last little while, whether it's, I hope the tables open up next week, or I hope this thing will be over, by next September. I hope the vaccine will take care of things. You got to hang tough. There is hope and there is light at the end of the tunnel. It's just a very long tunnel.
It definitely is a long tunnel. So what's the local community in Calgary been like for you?
Sorry, I didn't hear that.
How's the local community been like for supporting you through this?
Awesome.
The locals.
Awesome. I mean, we've been here for almost 10 years. We've built up a really good regular clientele, and we're seeing these people every week coming in, whether it's just, a bowl of soup, but predominantly it's that Reuben sandwich that we got everybody hooked on. But really, as I look around at our industry in Calgary, and I look at my peers, from what I can see, the community is supporting us. The community is supporting that small business, that small, medium-sized business that really is the cornerstone of our economy, and is also the color of our business. I don't want to disrespect anybody out there. I don't want to disrespect the big box stores and the big chain restaurants, but little places like ours, the 30 seat restaurant, the takeout, the mom and pop places, we need them. We need them to support, to survive, because like I said, it adds color to our industry. And the community is coming out and they're doing it. They're helping as best they can. Because I think we have to appreciate also that everybody also only has so much money to spend.
Yeah. And it is pretty amazing, people supporting the local communities. I've heard amazing things across Canada, interviewing different people. It really is amazing how everyone's get together. And the importance of being local and how to support local is highlighted so much now that I know it was very important before, but it seems that it's really taking, the front seat of people's conversations when it comes to our industry. I hear it every day, almost every minute, on the importance of it. And we do believe that same thing here with Sysco as well. Huge on what we're trying to do with that whole local Foodies Unite campaign as well with this. What is some of the things that you've done, Peter, when you said, some of the efficiencies and things like that? Have you cut your size of your menu down and that kind of stuff?
Well, you have to. I mean, the way I've been explaining to people also is on DoorDash, on Skip the Dishes, and even the takeout, people are just going to the menu and they're ordering food. Whereas in the restaurant, we have the opportunity to talk to people, to romance our food, to really push our features and our specials to sell. So we had to take a look at our menu. We look back over a period of time.
To do with that whole local Foodies Unite campaign.
That first 3 months of doing the takeout, and we identified the items that we're selling. Plus, again, we went down from 20 staff to 3. We've built it back up to 10. Wow. We're doing more with less people. We're just trying to be more efficient on our line, and we looked at things that really took a lot of effort to prep, and we eliminated some of those things, and we're just focused on the popular items, the items that set Rumans apart from everybody else, and what people, the items that people really come for.
So when we talk about things out there in the industry, and a lot of our shows and our guests on our shows are inspiring so many of our customers, restaurateurs, non-customers of Sysco across this country. Even in the US, we've had people commenting just from our shows, how you're really inspiring them to move forward and seeing what your story's like. And if it's similar to theirs, or might be some parts of it that they're dealing with the same thing. I always ask all of our customers that are on our shows, what's some of the advice you'd give other restaurateurs right now out there that might be at a crossroads in their business?
Well, it's a lot of discussions and a lot of research and a lot of utilizing the tools that are around you. And the biggest tools are the people. Like I said, I mean, we've been very fortunate and very lucky. We have an incredible relationship with our landlord, and they want to see us here. We're here, we're established. They don't want us to leave. They want us to survive. So they're working with
Mhm.
us as best as they can. And then it's, once again, just the research and the government programs that are out there to help keep us going. It's about survival. And again, it's about looking at your business and just rejigging it and also positioning yourself for when we come out of this. The world is not going to be the same. My 64-seat restaurant, we're not going to pack it in the way we used to. We're a lot
Mhm.
comfortable, more comfortable with 40 seats in here. And we will continue to focus on the takeaway and continue to let our corporate people, because one day they will return to downtown Calgary, but just try and stay front and center, try and stay in the public's eye as best as you can, and also as much conversation with the other restaurateurs and your peers, and how can we all work together to get through this.
Mhm. So, what's some of? Can you share with us before you go, just some of the things that you've done with your staff to keep that energy high? That I think is going to obviously probably soak into your customers that do come in. What are some of those things that you've done just to keep the staff morale up?
Well, we've become a much tighter group, and we become more and more of a family. And it's important that my staff um, understand how fragile our business is and business altogether is. In other words, if they were to bring the virus into our establishment, we have to close, and we can't
Mhm.
afford to close. The little bit that we're doing in takeout and so on. So everybody is aware of it. We talk about it all the time. But what we try and do too is continue to let Grumman's be that happy place. And
Mhm.
whether it's the music we play in here, or whether it's the video that we might show, like I was saying to you earlier, we were playing The Wizard of Oz for a few days, and we were just talking about how hopefully, like Dorothy, we're going to wake up from this nightmare. We play Ferris Bueller's Day Off quite a bit, because it's for a lot of people who come in here. I mean, they look at it, they remember that movie, and for them, it's like, yeah, having another day off. But the idea, once again, I want my staff to look forward to coming to work, and we just we're we appreciate the little things now. We appreciate
Mhm.
each other so much more, and I just continue to try and build that, that positive energy here in the restaurant. I've got a lot to deal with, as an entrepreneur, as a restaurateur, as a businessman. Even though our landlord has been working with us, there's still a rent check that has to go every month. And with our suppliers, they've been very, working well with us. But, every week there's a Sysco check that's got to go out, and our payroll doesn't stop. But I've been able to put those pressures aside and have that strong face for my staff. And
Yeah.
I don't want them to feel sad or bad for me. I want them to look at me and just look how strong I am as I get everybody through this.
Yeah, that's awesome. I've said this before. I said this yesterday on the show as well. Is that our restaurateurs are showing leadership values that are that are so incredible, and you're, like yourself, uh, leadership is really going to, I think, in a sense, I love how you put it. They look up to you in a sense, right, to see how strong you are and all those things. It means the world, especially in today, especially January, February, March. We know it's tough. It's very tough for a lot of people right now. And it is great to have leaders like yourselves that are in this industry to push those people through, because we also want to encourage people to continue in this industry, or one day maybe open their own restaurant or their own location as well. And it's so important to see people like yourself continuing to have that leadership that is driving us forward. So I just want to thank you so much, Peter, for being on our show today and sharing your story. The values that you have are incredible. And we look forward so much to seeing you get back to the new world of what this will look like after this. And we wish you all the best.
Thank you. Appreciate that. And just in closing, once again, to all those restaurants that are out there, the smaller restaurants that are out there, hang tough, be strong, and we'll get through it. We will get through it, and we will be better for it, because when the people come back, when this thing opens up, it's going to be bigger and better than it was before. Figure out a way to hang in there. It'll be worth it.
I fully agree. All the best, Peter.
Thanks,
Take care.
Jay. Nice talking to you.
You bet. Cheers.
Bye.
So we're going to cut to a quick little break here, and then we're going to have one of my favorite customers. I know she's smiling in the green room, but we're going to have her right back, but we're going to cut to a quick little break here, and we'll be right back.
Restaurants are the shared kitchens and dining rooms of our communities. Beyond the basic purpose of restaurants to provide food and drink, restaurants fulfill a human need for connection and shape relationships. Acquaintances become friends around a table, and major life events are celebrated in restaurants. They bring us together. It's where memories are created. Despite the seemingly endless amount of obstacles that continue to come its way, Canada's food and beverage community continues to provide ways to support other Canadians. It's time for us to unite and do good for the industry, for the hard-working foodies who fuel our love for food. That's why we've started Foodies Unite, to celebrate local restaurants and to encourage our community members to show them some support. We want to spread the love of food coast to coast. Foodies Unite is all about supporting local restaurants and making a positive impact on the industry. Our primary goal is to help restaurants by encouraging Canadians to order, post, and share their experiences with their networks and beyond. So now's your chance to join the movement and help us spread the word by using hashtag FoodiesUnite and encouraging your customers and followers to get involved.
Hello, Angel.
Hello.
Hello, welcome to our show.
Thanks for having me.
So I've known Angel for quite a while, a long time, and it's so awesome to see you again. And welcome, and I'm just so excited. I was waiting for this for a long time when I saw your name come across, and wow, what a year, eh?
Yeah, it's been quite a year for sure.
So Angel, our shows, we're dedicating these next 2 months, January and February, to really our Foodies Unite campaign, where we want everyone to support the industry and really hear on our shows, on our virtual kitchen shows, your story of what this year's been like. So I'm going to let you chat away and share with us what your story's like for Mocha Cabana.
I mean, it's hard just going from the start. It's been a year of an emotional roller coaster, and to think about where we were almost a year ago, like Peter before me said, March 15th is a day, March 15th, 2020 is a day I will never forget. I really felt like it was the end of the world. I think we were all in the same place, and immediately I couldn't believe how quickly the community came together. When we were told to shut down, we didn't know, is this going to be a week or months? We've never experienced, any of us have ever experienced this. So I immediately put on our Facebook page, I just wanted to sell stock out of the store at cost. We wouldn't be sitting on that inventory. We're a small restaurant, but we usually have about $20,000 worth of inventory on. So I was able to sell a lot of stock to help with the cash flows. So that was something I did right off the top. And then having a lot of students and single parents working for us, anything we couldn't sell off, we gave away. So anyhow, that was the beginning of the chaos. Fast forward, it's been quite a journey. There's been times where we think, okay, this is it. We're at our rope. There's no more to pay the bills. And then the provincial or federal government will come through with a new subsidy program. So between innovating our menu a little bit, and I know you'll ask me some questions about that, innovating our menu a little bit, limiting what we had on there, and probably we did remove a lot of items that we loved to create that only might have had one, the prep would only have one footprint in our kitchen. We needed to remove that so we could have less staff, produce more with the takeout, because with the takeout and delivery business, it's not like being able to tell your kitchen you have so many menus open. It's really, you don't know which device is going to go off when, and that can be very chaotic. And definitely with the 2 shutdowns, because Alberta's on another shutdown, like a lot of provinces, we felt that we were more prepared for this second one on how to manage inventory. We pared down our menu, things like that. I know a few staff won't be coming back. They've either moved back to their home community because they're able to do their schooling online now, university and college. So there's going to be some hiccups along there when things do reopen. Our plan is, even if they announce that we can reopen in the next short while with this new variant, we've taken the approach that it's lives over money. And yes, we want to keep our business viable. We ask daily to our community to continue to support us. And by supporting us, we have over 20 local producers and suppliers that deliver to us. So we're supporting the local economy here when they support our business. And we plan to open slowly and just do it the right way and bring in the right staff, because I feel that when things open, we all want to visit people and hug people and socialize, and that's why we have restaurants, is so we can enjoy our customers. I always say, when our customers come into my restaurant, welcome to my casa. And I just can't wait to have that experience again. And I feel we're going to be in a very hyper economy. We're all going to want to get out, and dining out is still the way that we celebrate and share experiences with people we care about, people we do business with, people we love. And I just really, when we reopen, I want to do it slowly and just give the wow. And so that when people come back, it's going to be even better than what they've been enjoying in a box. So that's what I have to say so far, Jay. Ask me.
Keep going.
All day, you know this.
I know. I was like, oh boy, we got to extend the time. No, but so first of all, Mon Cabana is located in Lethbridge, Alberta.
Yes, thank you.
Right? I forgot to mention that.
Yes.
Where I went to university, and it's actually located just a few buildings from where I used to live when I was in university. So I'm very familiar. I think I stared at it from my windows in my loft. But I do have to, I do want to ask you a few questions just around what's driving you to keep going? What drives you every day?
Well, I'd say that as a chef, we've always said, you don't pick the kitchen picks you. I've been in food service all my life in many different areas, and I just love the business. My last job, you know what that was, and it was with Sysco, and I bought my dream. I mean, we all go to culinary school hoping to have our own restaurant someday, and I've been through tough times before, and I know that this too will pass. And I've collaborated with other businesses to support them. It's just, when we say we're in it together, we truly are in it together. Yeah. And any foodie has that passion. It's just part of your DNA. And that is what's driving me. And I'm going to go back to what Peter said. While I may be carrying a lot of stress, I'm still looking after myself. And I just really try to put on a great face to our customers and our staff, because there is hope. We will get through this. And when we do, we're going to be able to get back to what we do really well. And that's amazing food with local products and training our young culinary talent in Southern Alberta here in Lethbridge.
Have you had any time off, Angel?
I've been taking one day off a week, and I did a 3-day camping trip with my husband in the summer. And even on that one day off, I say it's an entrepreneur day off. I don't come into my business, so I'm not working in my business, but I'm usually working on it a little bit at home.
I was going to say, if I know you, you're working on it.
Yeah.
So one of the things that I always ask all of our guests that are coming on our show and things like that is, first of all, definitely there's a wiring in us to keep going and to have these smiles. And everyone that I've met with from restaurants from coast to coast in these last 11 months, 10, 11 months, they're all smiling and they just keep going. Like, it's incredible to see the spirits and the drive from these people. And it just, first of all, it keeps me going and wanting to do more and more conversations with our customers and restaurateurs across this country. What is the one thing that you'd say to other restaurants right now that are out there at this crossroads weird time that they don't know what to do or what to keep going? What would you say to them?
Well, I've been saying it to lots of restaurants. I collaborate with a lot of our independent restaurants in Lethbridge, and it is so important to layer your business. It doesn't matter how long you've been open. I bought an existing 10-year restaurant that I loved. It was my favorite restaurant in Lethbridge, and I've built on the values that they implemented, and it's so important to layer. And there's other restaurants that have been around in Lethbridge for a long time, and they've not embraced third-party deliveries. And I get it. There's things about Skip the Dishes and other third delivery companies that I've resented, cut of the pie, but honestly, it is what kept us going. Another partner of another restaurant that I call like my soul sister restaurant in Lethbridge, I'll give a name out, Chef Stella's. She does an amazing job. Her and her business partner, they pivoted and created a market and started freezing down some of their house signature items. And so they've been able, and then they went to a meal pack business. I decided to let her have that because I have a really great takeout business and established Skip business already. But I love collaborating with other restaurants, and the ones that I'm seeing that are, and I don't want to say thriving, none of us are really thriving, but we're going to make it. And that's all you got to do. And lean on your other partners. You know what? Competition can be your closest ally as well, because you can work together, you can collaborate, you can do cross promotions together. So many great things.
That is huge. That is amazing advice, Angel.
Question was,
sorry?
I forget what the original question was. I went too far.
Man, first of all, I love your glasses.
For you, Jay.
I know. I was like, oh my God. Anyways, I should have worn my red ones. First of all, the energy and everything else about collaborating with other customers or other restaurateurs out there, you nailed it. That is something that I know that even talking with other companies yesterday, in a presentation I was doing, I mentioned that, and I'm glad you mentioned that, because it goes back to that whole, and I hope it's not cliche, that whole thing, we're in this together. But we're so stronger. You're so right. Working with them and to collaborate, especially in a community like Lethbridge, I know very well. That's amazing, right? That is something that I think a lot of people in this industry should look at. And is there anything specific that you can share within that? Like, did you guys use ads together, or is it promoting together, or how does that all work?
So many things. There are a few restaurant owners in Lethbridge, and I'm going to say it. It's nothing against men restaurant owners, honestly, but I am empowered by women entrepreneurship, and there are some strong women entrepreneurs in food service in Southern Alberta, and we've done all sorts of advertising and collaborating together. We've done radio advertising on some promotions. We've done little punch cards. Like right now, I'm collaborating with a bunch of other restaurants, and one is Hickory Street. They're in Sterling, Alberta, but they bring their food truck into Lethbridge, and they came up with this idea, and I'm like, oh my God, this is great. Let's run with it. And so we're doing a bingo, and they'll be able to go to a selection of restaurants who are participating, get a bingo when they prove a receipt for their takeout Skip order, and they're going to be entered into draws to win wonderful gift cards from the restaurants that are participating. It's really costing us nothing. We give gift cards away all the time to promote our business, and we're all collaborating together. And the goal of this is maybe people will learn about our restaurants that don't even know about us. Even after 17 years of in business, Mocha Cabana, there are people in this community that say they didn't know about us.
Wow. Well, that's awesome. Well, Angel, first of all, thank you so much for jumping on today's show, to spend your time. I know you're busy all the time. It's great to see you. It's great to hear what you're doing. I love the collaboration amongst the community. I think we all can learn from that across Canada. And I just can't thank you enough. And I wish you all the best in everything you're doing.
Thank you so much. Good to see you, Jay.
You bet. So take care. We'll see. I'm gonna check back with you. I know later on.
No, I
got a road trip. You wouldn't believe my road trip across Canada. I got to come visit all these restaurants. And you were right about we all want to get out. I can't wait to dine in a restaurant again. And it's going to be amazing. And we're going to be so much stronger when we get through this. So all the best, Angel. Take care.
Thank you. Bye-bye.
So we're going to be right back. We're just going to cut to a quick little break here for 30 seconds. And we'll be right back. And more to come.
Restaurants are the shared kitchens and dining rooms of our communities. Beyond the basic purpose of restaurants to provide food and drink, restaurants fulfill a human need for connection and shape relationships. Acquaintances become friends around a table, and major life events are celebrated in restaurants. They bring us together. It's where memories are created. Despite the seemingly endless amount of obstacles that continue to come its way, Canada's food and beverage community continues to provide ways to support other Canadians. It's time for us to unite and do good for the industry, for the hard-working foodies who fuel our love for food. That's why we've started Foodies Unite, to celebrate local restaurants and to encourage our community members to show them some support. We want to spread the love of food coast to coast. Foodies Unite is all about supporting local restaurants and making a positive impact on the industry. Our primary goal is to help restaurants by encouraging Canadians to order, post, and share their experiences with their networks and beyond. So now's your chance to join the movement and help us spread the word by using hashtag Foodies Unite and encouraging your customers and followers to get involved.
Awesome. Chef Ron, welcome.
Good morning.
Good morning. I'm like, this is a legend I'm having on the show today.
It shows my age.
First of all, thank you so much. Sorry, that coffee went down the wrong pipe. Thank you so much, Chef, for being on the show today.
You're welcome. Thank you for having me.
Sorry. Coffee is strong.
Let's have some more.
I know, exactly. Cheers. So, Chef, let's hear your story. You're out in BC, a little bit different environment than the rest of Canada. Let's hear a little bit about what you've been working with and dealing with for this past year.
Yeah, it's been a challenging year for sure. Well, we're still very fortunate here in British Columbia, especially us. We're on Vancouver Island, so COVID has been present, but it hasn't been drastically very difficult. However, that said, we have to adapt and follow all the same restriction and precaution than everybody else. So when COVID hit last spring, back in March, we had to actually close for 2.5 months. It was mandatory by the province that all restaurant, bar, and so on close. And so that was a shock and also very challenging at the time. But, after a few days of getting over the shock of having to close and dealing with all the food that we gave away to a food bank and so on, and putting the restaurant to bed, we decided that instead of feeling sorry for ourselves, we would embrace the time that was actually giving to us, and we started to revamp the whole restaurant. So we clean, we reorganize, we clean everything from A to Z. We repainted, we did all the upgrade and reparation that needed both in the front of the house and in the back of the house. We basically work our ass off for 2.5 months. and then sprint to reopen on June 1st. So reopening in June was fairly challenging. At first, people were quite hesitant to come out to restaurant. So for the first few weeks, it was quite slow, and it was a slow process to get reopened. For us, we do more of a casual fine dining, if you wish. The food that we produce, everything is cooked to order. Everything is, we do a lot of fresh fish and seafood. We're focusing entirely on local ingredient here at Locals. So well, I never felt that putting our food in boxes to go was necessarily the best thing to do. We felt that it wasn't showcasing what we're doing, and wouldn't do us wouldn't be a positive twist to that. That said, if we have requests for people to that want our food to go, we do. But what I mean is, we never did put a lot of focus on trying to promote that. That said, so net, we wanted the people to continue to come to Locals and feel safe about that. So we did spend a lot of effort and time into making the restaurant, our safety policy, our COVID plan, the most, not even only to just trying to meet the request, but to try to exceed the request. So to really make our guests feel that they can come to Locals and feel safe. So from the time we reopened to even now, when we reopened back in June, mask was not mandatory, and there was a lot of things that were not mandatory. But at that time, we made the decision to take all of those precautions, so to make our guests feel safe. And we also did a lot of improvement to our dining room. Most places put up plastic glass. We're located in a 1934 old house, and
Yeah.
the decor is quite rustic and of that time. So what we did is we went out and salvaged a lot of old door and old window that we refurnish and hang into the dining room as a partition. And it totally was a hit. Even the majority of our guests are saying, "Oh, you're gonna leave those hanging when COVID's over," because it add a lot of beauty and ambiance to both rooms. So that's been very effective. So that said, so I was saying June was fairly quiet, but by July and August, we really momentum really was really good for us. Being on Vancouver Island this past summer, we had a lot of people from the mainland, from Vancouver, Victoria, doing staycation. And then that one really strong up to November. In November, the health ministry put in to a restriction, travel, no leisure travel restriction. So that was a really big hit for us. So December was fairly significantly slow.
Yeah.
That said, from month to month, you look at what you're doing. You're trying to make things more efficient. So we've been able to survive doing what we're doing quite well.
That is awesome. So I know, Chef, you've been in the industry a long time. You're a legend of the industry. Is there things that you would say to other chefs and other restaurateurs right now that are going through these times right now to keep going? What are some of those advice or tips that you would say to them, or inspirations that you would say to them?
Well, I think that it's not only in time of COVID. I think it's true for all the time. Is when you have a business and you have a restaurant, I think that the most important thing to do is always to stay true to your objective and what you are. So, like I was talking about not doing takeout because I don't think that would be true to what we're
Mhm.
trying to do. But I think, to stay true to your staying focused. You cannot be everything for everybody.
Mhm.
You have to create something that will demark you from the masses. There's so much out there that is repetitive, and to be able to create something that is different, and
Mhm.
there's so many way of doing that. But I think is the most important is to stay focused in what you're doing, and trying and get creative in trying to solve what the issues are at the time instead of being reactive.
Yeah, exactly. It's funny you say that. I was saying that the other day. I'm like, when are we going to start playing? We're playing defense so much lately. It'd be great to play a little offense in this whole
Mhm.
world we live in our
Well,
industry.
you have to look at the opportunity that it does bring. COVID has been very, very, very challenging for many business, and I know that many of them already has have not been able to survive it. But on the other hand, it's also been a a new situation that has brought opportunity to many of them as well. um, so I was just reading yesterday about all those new ghost kitchen that are
Mhm.
happening, and focusing on that kind of service. Um, so there's been a lot of opportunity. As a restaurant trying to survive, I think I'm very fortunate. I have an excellent partner. It's my wife,
Yeah.
and she has always been very creative and very positive thinker. And
Mhm.
so when challenge present themselves, we always sit down and say, don't look at the reason why it wouldn't work, but find way that to make it work.
Mhm. I think that's amazing. And I've said this with the two guests we had on previous for you before you, chef, is I really believe there's a different wiring in us in this industry, because it has been just absolutely devastating to what's happened. But to see people like yourself that are keep moving forward, looking at the positives of what this has given us, and really, that advice of just keep moving, keep what's true to your business alive. It's incredible. I get goosebumps seeing how, um, people in our industry like yourself that are just still positive and still moving and still going at this, because it has been so hard on all of us.
Mhm.
Is there anything that you're going to continue to do after, let's say, we get back to a normal state, if there ever will be? Is there anything that you'll continue to do?
Well, I think that well, probably not wearing a mask, um, hopefully. But I think that in the restaurant business, for as long as I can remember, there's always been your food safety plan, for example. But I can tell you, since last year, the food safety plan with the COVID safety plan is has quite evolved. So I think there's a good example of something really good, and probably some really good habit that the employee have gained over the last year that I'm sure will remain,
Mhm.
that we're going to want to continue to implement.
Yeah.
So that's one thing. As I mentioned, maybe a little bit on the physical space that we had before and what we've created now is a good example. We're in the process of creating a new terrace in front of the restaurant, where the restaurant is located on the riverside. And so far, we have the lawn in front of the restaurant. We're going to create a new terrace there with paver and so on to be able to extend our seating area. Last summer, we did get the expansion for our patio, but we had table on the grass. And so this year, that's the other part, is to look at opportunity. When we're talking about opportunity, both the Canadian government and the British Columbia government put out money out there for helping us survive this pandemic, and the administrative side of doing business is extremely important. And so we are taking advantage of some of those opportunities to create a new sitting area space outside the restaurant, which will be there forever,
That's awesome. Well, that's the good thing that comes from this, I guess, hey, is all these different opportunities, like you say, that comes out of all this. And I just can't thank you enough, Chef, for jumping on our show today, sharing your story. First of all, your restaurant is gorgeous on the internet. Check it out. Your dishes are just absolutely beautiful as well. What's your favorite dish, Chef, to cook?
Oh, that's a tough one, but maybe one of my favorite is for lunch. I would say it's the potato crusted rockfish that we do on the salad. It's just very enjoyable and plenty of flavor. But we like all the food. Obviously, you see, I'm quite healthy that way, so I have always liked my food. But yeah,
I think a lot of people like your food. When I hear other people in other parts of the country talking about you, you definitely are a legend.
Yeah, like I know that other provinces. I've all my families in Quebec, and for the last several months, I know that all the restaurants and bars are closed. I really feel for them. It must be devastating, but hopefully the vaccine will be efficient this year, and we get back to normal and sometime in the near future.
Yeah, I agree. And I just can't wait to dine at a restaurant, and I will definitely be putting your location on my list to go out. I'm going to have to take out a second mortgage to all these restaurants I have to go to and dine at. First of all, I don't mind that because I miss it so much, but I just can't thank you enough, Chef. All the best to you, and we will see you on the island. I will visit for sure, and I can't thank you enough for sharing your story today with us.
Thank you, Jay, and you have a good day.
You too. Take care. So we're going to be right back. We got a super rock star chef. That's you, Kim. I see you in the green room. And the wannabe rock star, Ryan, are going to be on soon. But we're going to have a quick little break here for 30 seconds. And then we'll have these legends on and other legends on to talk a little bit about the Culinary Federation and what we're all kind of going to be dealing with here right away in this month.
When you're a member of the Culinary Federation, you season your culinary career with its benefits.
Connecting and networking, culinary challenges and competitions, certification programs, culinary and business skills training, cost savings programs, mentorship and career development. The Culinary Federation, bringing together professional chefs and cooks from across Canada to honor tradition while evolving into the... Be part of the change.
Join the Culinary Federation revolution today.
Welcome, Kim and Ryan. I got to mute Ryan there. I muted him. I muted you.
I try and do that.
Yeah, I'm good now.
That's the best thing about this. I guess there's a little silver lining that if you don't like listening to people, you can just mute them when you have them on your show and stuff like that. But welcome to our show. We're coast to coast here. Kim, first of all, thank you so much for jumping on today and talking a little bit about what you guys are really rolling out. I believe it's today that you're rolling this out. Is this right? With the focus on mental illness?
We're tiptoeing out today, and then
Okay.
we're going for a big launch in by February 9th.
Oh, nice. So
Yeah.
you want to share with us a little bit what you guys are rolling out on February 9th?
You want me to share, Ryan? You know I love talking, so I'm okay with that.
Yeah, we hear enough.
Oh,
from Ryan
yours.
all the time.
Yeah.
This is your baby, Kim. I'm just there to support you. So
Perfect. So I have been brought on, or I came onto the Culinary Federation board this year, and was tasked with what my culinary revolution might look like. And I had approached Ryan, and as much as I have thought for many years of things I would love to do, this year, when given the opportunity to actually do it, one of the things that's very near and dear to my heart in this industry is our mental wellness and addiction services, and the lack of. I'm an advocate for leading from the top and our leadership in that. So being an executive chef for many years and having large teams under me, I realized that I got my job because I was a really great chef, but I didn't necessarily have any sort of leadership skills to be training people, be just handling people. I was young when I first started. So it has, the past couple of years, I've grown into a position, done lots of training, and Ryan gave me an opportunity to challenge or create a revolution. And my revolution has to do with overhauling how we handle addiction services, how we handle any sort of mental health things, and educating people on how to have those conversations, tough conversations about like breaking down the stigmas around it, all those kinds of things, and how just giving people in the industry the tools to be able to support people that work for them, support themselves, and really kind of take ownership over where they are. And this has, over many years, landed way too close to home for me. And with teams that I have, just way too close to my heart, that I really, the way I look at it, I don't want to do this job forever. So I really want us to be building a legacy behind us to come up and be able to have people in our industry filling in those spaces. And I don't think we're necessarily doing it as skilled as we could be at this moment. And we really need to get out in front of this.
Yeah. Ryan, what do you want to say on that too?
I just want to say that's why I get Kim to say it, because she talks about it. She's very passionate about it. We all are, actually. And I think it's all part of really the change of what we're trying to do with our industry, and the Federation is trying to evolve with that, on many different fronts. So, I mean, Kim, actually, this has all progressed probably within the past week and a half to 2 weeks. Kim approached me, thought, hey, what do you think? And, we thought it was a great idea. It always has been something that we've struggled with. We've always tried to have a benefit like this or have education like this for our members or industry, period. But we can never figure out how we can do it. And then Kim ended up coming and wrapping it in a nice little bow and then presented it in front of me. So it was amazing.
It's very interesting that, I've been in this industry a long time as well, to finally see us having these conversations now about this. Because I have seen so many people struggle over the years, and it's not easy, this industry, especially for chefs in this industry, to go through what they go through. And it's great that we're finally, I hate to say that we're finally, but bringing the attention to this. Right?
Totally. Well, and I think for so many years, we almost glorified it amongst ourselves. Like I know I can speak for myself, when I very much owned my badass chef, I get to do what I want kind of thing. I'm not sure if I'm allowed to swear on the show, so sorry about that.
It's okay. I know the producer quite well.
So part of it is the and also it was kind of easier to certain
words are accepted now.
Oh yeah. It was easier for us to wrap ourselves up in the busy of our lives and look away from it and just expect or assume someone will do themselves.
And that was almost, you're right, Kim, because it was a point where it was almost like expected to have that edge, right, in the kitchens. if you know, I've seen so many things as well as yourself of what happens with chefs and stuff, and it was accepted so much in the past, right? And it was tough watching a lot of these amazing chefs either go down one bad road or the odd one would go in the right direction. But I've seen so many of them went down the wrong road that ended their careers, right? And it diverted them from the possibility of having their own restaurant or cooking in a very well-known restaurant, that they got stuck in this rut of bad influences and bad choices. That it's great that we can move forward and support people. And it's great that you guys are going. I can't thank you enough to have these conversations with us.
And I think a lot of it has to do.
Well, I would say for that point,
Go ahead, Ryan.
I'd say on that point, Jay, when you said about going down the wrong rut and stuff, that was our industry back in the day. I mean, it was really, that was a lot of this was accepted. It was what people were doing. But really what we're trying to do now is we're trying to say the industry's evolved and something like this was never there. So this is where we're trying to educate people and we're trying to show them that, the world has changed and we are there for you type idea. And we can help you through this type.
I think you're absolutely right. I just remember the last place that I ran, there was so much addictions in that restaurant, and we accepted it, and that was just okay. Like it was a point where I know the one chef, he had to have a drink before he started his shift, and that was normal. And it wasn't just a little drink; it was a big drink. And he, all this after, it was just absolutely. And then he was phenomenal and worked at some of the biggest hotels in Canada, and he went down the wrong road. And unfortunately, like you said, Ryan, that was okay. Yeah, that's normal. He's a chef.
And right? I think I have had an opportunity to what I truly consider one of my greatest gifts I've had in this industry is by working for big corporate and working for them for so long. We did tons and tons of training and I was just a sponge for it and really took it as all of these tools that I could add onto my toolbox or what would that look like? What would that look like the more things I add, the more I learned on how to manage people? Because to me, it really is about the people. Like I said for 10 years, I was in this really great job and I only looked so good because my team made me look so good. All I had to do was show up and tie a bow on it, like Ryan said, and just be there to support them. And they just knocked it out of the park. But so much of it is really coming to, like, as leaders, we need to be held accountable for those conversations we're having. We can't be in the space of the image of throwing frying pans and flying off the cuff and yelling and cursing and swearing. Like we know too much now to do that and to allow ourselves to get into that. So part of the program is going to be about educating. So the program we're launching is like a 6-week series. We're starting out open to the public, and then because I'm also part of the membership services for Culinary Federation, if you want to stay on, then you got to buy your membership. So it kind of goes hand in hand. So I'm getting both sides of this.
I was going to say, look at Ryan smile like a little bit.
Right? Yeah. He's like, good way to drop that in there, Kim. So so part of it is that we're creating this 6-week program, and it's set out to how you have those conversations, those tough conversations. How as leaders is it being affected in our business? To how do we minimize the damage? How do we stop things that are happening within our space? How do we stop the gossip? Lord knows we're full of gossip in our industry. How do we keep the stigmas down? How do we change the culture around all of it? And then the final week is all going to be about how we revolutionize all of that and moving forward, how we're going to change the culture. And I cannot begin to stress how important I feel it is for us as chefs in the leadership role or management or front house, whatever role it might be, to be able to kind of stand in a space and have those conversations and be able to lead someone and help support them out of them, because we expect a whole lot of those people on our team. If anything, they can expect that we're going to show up to support them when they need it the most. Because my guys gave a lot for me when I asked it of them. I can't imagine that I wouldn't owe it to them to show up in a respectful manner, in a supportive role, in an empathetic role. Like, there's so many things we don't know about addiction and mental wellness and any kind of those services, that for an industry that basically dangles a drink at their staff at the end of every night, we really should be more educated on it. We know how to serve everyone else properly, but we're not looking at ourselves in any of this.
And you're so right, Kim, when you say all that, because I just remember so many times that you finished your shift, you had a drink or whatever. That was probably the lightest thing that you had was a drink. And that was normal. And I love the fact that we're talking about it. We're going to help and support people so we change it for the future. And I just can't thank you and Ryan enough for grabbing this and moving forward with it and making a difference, and will make a difference in the industry, because we have to. And it's one of those things, I think, you look at the industry, it is evolving every day. We're seeing people, even today on the conversations, taking a really different approach to the industry. And I want to say it's almost like it's evolving in a sense from just flying by the seat of our pants in a way to taking not only the business aspects of it so serious now. And COVID's probably taught us a little bit about that. And then to also consider the mental illness of people that are working within that, and then how serious we have to take that as well. It's like we're getting to the point where maybe some other industries have already or started, a little ways back, but it's like I don't want to say the word maturing, but it is in a way. It's really getting to where it's going to be an amazing industry that we attract young people. I have on my podcast show tomorrow Nicole Gallus from Food Grads, and we're going to talk about how do we keep inspiring kids and students to be chefs for tomorrow and for the years ahead. Because back in the days when people were throwing frying pans at you, which I have had, you don't want to be in this industry. It was like, oh my God, I got to get out of this. This is it's a stepping stone to my career where I'm going to end up. But it can be an amazing career, amazing life. You get to meet amazing people, and you get to do amazing things, and you can change other people's lives. And it's amazing to see this. And I just can't thank both of you for jumping on the show today, sharing this, and getting everyone to support you as you move forward with your rollout.
Absolutely. I think it's
thanks for everything.
Yeah, and it's so important that we, as the chefs, put on our own mask first. I don't mean the COVID mask, but when you're on an airplane and they say you need to put your own oxygen mask on first before you help someone else. I really think we need to start doing that. We have to recognize that we don't have superhero capes, and the harder we work and the longer hours, and I 16 hours in and 10 days in a row. And we need to stop glorifying that, because we're losing ourselves as human beings and only becoming employees. And that's one of the big things is we need to recognize we're people first. And being a chef is, although one of the honorable jobs I know, it's still second. I'm still a person first, and a chef is what I do.
Yeah, love that. Love that. Thanks so much, Kim. Ryan, last words from you?
I would say if you would have proposed this 10 years ago, it wouldn't have worked. Now it's time. And now it's time to be there for everybody. And really that's where, Kim is quite passionate. We've all become quite passionate through Kim has convinced us, really, honestly. And I think this is revolutionary, actually, as an industry, revolutionary for what we're doing within our field.
Yeah, you're absolutely right. And there's so many. It's my 31st year in this industry, and I have so many stories. And you bring him so many of those memories back, and it is unfortunate. And it's incredible that we're finally putting so much attention to it that it needs to be, and brought forward in our conversations. And I just can't thank both of you enough to doing this and leading this, and it's going to be amazing.
Thank you.
Awesome. Well, all the best to both of you.
Thank you.
Have a great rest of your week. And for everyone else, I'm going to wrap up here. But for everyone else that joined our show today, thank you so much. Thank you for all of our guests, all the people that have joined us. You can watch this on Facebook, LinkedIn. Later, we have On Demand, Sysco.ca, our On Demand channel that you can watch. You can binge watch, Ryan, by the way, because I know you love watching me.
I do.
You can watch our show as much as you want on Sysco.ca. We have more shows coming up. Check us on podcast as well, on any podcast channel that you listen to podcast on. We're on there as well. And we actually have amazing guests as well that comes onto our podcast. And we'll be back next week with social media and more customer stories on the 4th of February. So all the best to both of you. And to everyone else, stay safe out there, keep going, and keep supporting this industry that we love all the way. See you later.
Thank you.
Bye.